everybody, welcome to the stream for those of you just tuning in, and that includes myself. My name is Marlon, and this is this is not really an episode. This is a national weather discussion that I'm here to talk about with you guys. Now, today is my birthday. I'm officially 31 years old right now, since about less than 2 hours ago. So what does this mean? Well, we are going to have 2 streams today. Unless if I could come up with a third one, but I'm highly doubtful of that, to be honest with you guys. So what does this mean? Well, right now, I'm just going to talk about the weather. So, how you guys doing? Hope you guys having a good Saturday mornings, or Saturday afternoon, or whatever. For me, well, let's just say my day's getting started. And it was quite a long night for me, because I had to, I'm not going to be able to have a car, because that was my bro's car, and now it's on its way to Missouri. Might get a new one next weekend, I mean. But in the meantime, enough about that. Let's just talk about the weather. Okay, so what do we have here? So let's just play the radar right now. Looks like much of the country is dealing with plenty of heat waves. Let's start off with active weather alerts. So we got 9 storm-based ones, 1 special marine warning located in Michigan. 2 of them are located in North Carolina and South Carolina, and 6 flash flood warnings, but they're in Canada. Now let's see what we got. We got 2 winter storm warnings. They're in, northwestern Montana, as I've already said last night. 41 non-precipitation type of active weather alerts, 2 high wind warnings. They're both located. Hey, Echomoth, how are you? Thank you, dude. Thank you so much. How are you today? For me, my day just got started for some reason. Yeah, I had to say goodbye to my bro's car because it's on its way to Missouri. I have to get a new car by next weekend. So it's just going to be me and me walking to work. But it's not much of a big deal because of how long it is. It takes about like 10 or 15 minutes of walking just to get to work and back. But I'm doing alright. I'm just a little tired because I stayed up until 3 o'clock. Alright, so let's see what we got. 31 extreme heat warnings. They're pretty much everywhere, actually, at this point. Wherever there are, darker pinks. 1 dense fog advisory located in Lake Superior. Let's see. 7 air quality alerts. Let's see what we got. Well, we do have places like southwestern Ohio, and where else you find... oh yeah, and as well as the southwestern New Mexico. If I'm not mistaken, though. Okay, hold on just a minute. Okay, never mind. Alright. Yeah, I'm not going to go through all of them. The 7 air quality alerts. 73 flood warnings and 35 red flag warnings. Now, where are they? Okay, let's just only do one of them. And they're in the west because, unlike those in the east where you get a lot of humidity, in the west that occurs whenever you have very dry conditions. Relative humidity is at 35% or less. Winds pick up, and dead vegetation becomes a thing. Now okay, we've already covered that. Yeah, there are lots of warnings, and the majority of them are heat warnings. Let's start off in the northeast. Let's take a look. Okay, so got a lot of heat warnings going on. Extreme heat warning near Boston, Providence, Bridgeport, especially the New York City area, Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, West Virginia. I mean, that's because we're starting to get plenty of hot air coming from the southwest. We'll talk about the setup in just a few minutes. But other than that, we only see some precipitation rolling through places like northeastern Ohio, northwestern Pennsylvania, and coming soon, western New York. But elsewhere throughout the northeast, it's quite dry. The south, pop-up showers and thunderstorms in places like South Carolina, western North Carolina. Yeah, there are lots of warnings, Echo Moth. Lots of them. It's getting hot. It's quite stormy in parts of Georgia, Florida, particularly like right around the peninsula part of Florida. And I'm starting to see more pop-up thunderstorms brewing in western panhandle of Florida, Alabama. Let's see if we got anything in Mississippi and Tennessee. Just a few in central Tennessee and eastern Mississippi. Let's take a look at what's going on in Arkansas and southern Louisiana. Well, Arkansas, not much. In Louisiana, too, but there are storms on the southern sides of Louisiana. Texas, on the south side, plenty of thunderstorms there. Sorry about that. In some places throughout the south, like South Carolina, Georgia, Mississippi, Louisiana, Arkansas, Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, Indiana, Illinois, and Kentucky. They are under flood warnings because of riverbanks overflowing. Not much going on in Oklahoma, so it's kind of relatively quiet so far right now, folks. But that could change for some places. In Kentucky, you're not seeing much of anything right now. That includes the rest of Ohio, Indiana, Illinois. Oh yeah, there's a special weather statement in both South Carolina and North Carolina, as I mentioned, right near Wilmington. I did mention there are air quality alerts there. Places like southwestern Ohio, like Cincinnati, especially Dayton, Ohio, western Michigan as well. Yet storms are rolling through parts of Michigan right now. They're moving towards the east, and there were big old downpours in the northern edge of the lower peninsula of Michigan. There is one special marine warning there. Choppy waters occurring right in Lake Huron. Some showers rolling across through places like southern Minnesota and central and northern Wisconsin. But as you can see, places like Chicago and Milwaukee, they're dealing with extreme heat warnings. St. Louis, too. Yeah, northwestern Wisconsin, much of Minnesota, western Iowa, eastern Nebraska, and southeastern South Dakota. Those places, they're getting a lot of heat warnings there. Oh yeah, there's also a flood warning near Waterloo, Iowa. No precipitation is present right now. Big ghost going wee. Wait, what big ghost are you talking about? Let's see. Missouri, no rain. Oh yeah, I see just a little bit of rain near Mason City, and especially just southwest of town. But everywhere else in Iowa is fine. Kansas and Nebraska, those places are pretty much in the clear right now. And as for South Dakota, it's all clear, though in northwestern North Dakota, it's quite Keep getting something in my throat. Yeah, they're quite stormy in northwestern North Dakota. Some showers and a few storms, especially in Montana, northeastern Montana, I should say, and as well as plenty of storms in the western part of Montana. Though it's time for me to switch to winter weather, just to give you guys an idea of whether we're dealing with some wintry weather right now. Why isn't this playing? Yeah, something's up. But so far, I'm not seeing much going on, folks. Although a winter storm warning is in effect, but I don't know. Let me just read this. Heavy wet snow above 5,000 feet. Likelihood of extreme impacts from 5 to 12 inches of snow. It's greater than 90% above 6,000 feet. 30% chance of isolated impacts from around 2 feet of snow in the highest terrain. Wind gusts up to 40 miles an hour in exposed areas in Glacier National Park. Lasts from 2 a.m. On Saturday all the way to noon Mountain Daylight Time tomorrow. So right now there is clear. Right now things are clear right now there, but still they're not out of the woods though. They're so not out of the woods, considering that there could be more later. Shakira. I really don't get it, the whole Shakira thing. I know who she is, but like, are you dancing like right now, Echo Moth? Let's see what we got. Okay, else the music. Ah, I see. Wait, I'm not playing any music. Or are you listening to music? Okay, so let's see what we got. Oh, I see. Oh, so it's stuck in your head. I see. Got it. Okay. Yeah, because I thought for a moment that I thought you were picking up Shakira from the background, but of course I did say no background music is allowed because of Twitch and YouTube having strict rules. But anyway, I hope you enjoy Shakira, dance to her. Oh, man, I got sirens there. Hold on. All right, I'm back. Okay, so what do we have? Okay, there's a high wind warning, as I said earlier. Enjoying it. My dad doesn't. I've been singing Shakira for months. Oh, all right. All right, that's cool. It's cool that you're enjoying it. All right, so let's take a look at Idaho, where Idaho is just some clouds on the northern parts of Idaho, just some showers, especially on the southwestern edges of the state, especially near Boise, the state capital of Idaho. And also, it's quite dry in Wyoming, though there are, I don't know. Okay, there are red flag warnings present throughout south central Wyoming, just west of Cheyenne, the state capital of Wyoming. Red flag warnings have been issued throughout the western portions of Colorado. No precipitation right now, especially in Utah. Much of Utah is under red flag warnings right now, especially in southeastern Nevada. But although there are some showers and a few storms in the northwestern part of Nevada, plenty of red flag warnings in northwestern New Mexico, and as well as air quality alerts in southwestern New Mexico. No precipitation in either New Mexico and Arizona. There are red flag warnings everywhere. Well, almost everywhere. Just on the northern parts of Arizona, California. Well, just a little bit of precipitation, but it's just only clouds on the southwestern part of Arizona. It's all dry right now. California, for the most part, California is mostly dry though. But there have been some clouds and showers on the northern parts of California, just in the interior parts of the state. Let's take a look. Okay, we got red flag warnings throughout the parts of the south part of the Central Valley, California, especially anywhere north of LA. Let's see, the high wind warnings are present right between Bakersfield and Palmdale. It's gonna be some wildfires. Hopefully there are no wildfires. If there are, that's bad news. Let's go to the Pacific Northwest, where there are precipitation. I got something in my eye. Plenty of precipitation in places like the western sides of Oregon and Washington State on the coastal side, bringing in wet weather there. Yet also some clouds and showers on the southeastern corner of Oregon and the northeastern as well, but not as much as those on the coast. All right, now let's see what's going on. Let me transition to Alright, now let's switch the scene to weather websites. Okay, let's go here. Let's refresh the page just a little bit. Okay, now you see. Alright, let's start off with the Northeast. We talk about current conditions right now. So what do we have here? Let's break this down just a little bit. Alright, so northern New England, like Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine, the winds are coming from the northwest. In Vermont, winds are very light there. In Maine, the winds are picking up to about up to 20 miles per hour. But in some coastal parts of Maine, there could be a little bit higher speeds for winds. South New England, I mean. Winds are also coming from the northwest. They're blowing at no more than 20 miles per hour there, but on the coastal side of Massachusetts, with the exception of Martha's Vineyard, well, you're only seeing just light and variable winds for the most part, but Martha's Vineyard winds are about 20 miles per hour, a little up though. Hold on just a minute. Alright, I'm back. So, let's see what we got. Let's see, western New York, winds are coming from the southwest, blowing at up to 25 miles per hour. Eastern upstate New York, particularly in the Hudson Valley, Winds are blowing towards the east, becoming light though, with no more than 10 miles per hour there. In the greater New York City area, consisting of the lower Hudson Valley, great 5 boroughs, Long Island, and northern New Jersey, you have winds that are coming from the west, blowing at no more than 20 miles per hour. On the coastal parts of Long Island, just a little bit higher. And let's see what we got. Okay, southern New Jersey, and as well as the Delmarva Peninsula, you do have winds that are blowing at no more than 20 miles per hour. And they're coming from the southwest, though, but Delaware winds are very light, though. Just a little bit variable, though. Pennsylvania winds are coming from the southwest on the west side, blowing up to 25 miles per hour, just a little low, just quite lower in the eastern half of the state, western Maryland, including Washington, D.C. Winds are blowing from the southwest, blowing at no more than 15 miles per hour. West Virginia, winds are blowing from the southwest at up to about 20 miles per hour, maybe a little, just a bit higher in the northern tip of West Virginia. In Virginia, winds are they're very light and variable, though. Let's break down in terms of temperature. Temperature-wise, hold on just a minute. Thought I have something. Temperature-wise, in Maine, you do have temperatures that are currently in the upper 60s to mid-70s. Vermont and New Hampshire, temperatures are in the 70s. Southern New England, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, and Connecticut, temperatures are in the low to mid-80s. Upstate New York, you do have temperatures that are in the mid-70s to low 80s. The greater New York City area, temperatures are in the 80s, but in some areas, the low 90s. In southern New Jersey and the Delmarva Peninsula, temperatures are in the mid-70s to low 80s. Pennsylvania, temperatures are in the 80s. Western Maryland, temperatures are in the 80s. West Virginia, temperatures are in the 80s, and Virginia, temperatures are also in the 80s, too. Let's see, in the Carolinas and Georgia, let's start off with the Carolinas. Winds are coming from the shores, blowing no more than 20 miles per hour, especially in the Outer Banks, but becoming very light as they approach inland, but it looks like as though they may be shifting towards the north and northeast. In Georgia, winds on the coastal side, they're blowing at up to 20 miles per hour, but elsewhere throughout Georgia, winds are very light and variable, but southern Georgia, winds are blowing towards the southwest at no more than 10 miles per hour. In the Carolinas, temperatures are in the mid-70s to upper 80s. Georgia, temperatures are in the 80s to mid-90s. Let's go to Florida. Northern Florida, you do have winds that are coming from the Atlantic, but yet they're blowing towards the southwest in the Panhandle part, but blowing at no more than 20 miles per hour. In South Florida, winds are blowing from the east, blowing at 20 miles per hour, but a little higher in the Atlantic side of South Florida. Key West, 20 to 30 miles per hour there. Temperatures in Florida, they are in the 80s to mid-90s. We got Tennessee. Winds are generally blowing towards the northeast. A little heavy, a little faster in the Mississippi Riverbank part of Tennessee, like Memphis, where they're blowing at up to 25 miles per hour. Temperatures in Tennessee are in the mid-80s to low 90s. Alabama, winds are very light and variable, especially in southern Mississippi, though in northern Mississippi, winds are blowing towards the northeast at around up to 20 miles per hour. Temperatures in Alabama, they're in the 80s as well as Mississippi. Let's go to Arkansas. Winds are blowing towards the northeast at up to 30 miles per hour. It's quite stronger in the northwest, in the western part of Arkansas. A little lighter in southeastern Arkansas. Temperatures there, they're in the upper 80s to mid 90s. Louisiana, you do have winds that are coming from the Gulf, but very light and variable near New Orleans. And the strongest winds are in the northwestern corner of Louisiana, blowing at up to 20 miles per hour. Temperatures are in the 80s to low 90s. Let's go to Texas. See what we got in Texas. I think I can hear something, but that's just me. Let's take a look. Well, much of Texas, winds are coming from the Gulf for the most part, and places like San Angelo and Odessa, they have winds blowing at 30 to 40 miles per hour there, blowing towards the north. But in the western part of Texas, you do have winds that are blowing towards the northeast at around 20 miles per hour. But in eastern Texas, the eastern edge of Texas, winds are actually blowing towards the north-northeast, but no more than 20 miles per hour. Let's take a look at the Panhandle. Temperatures in the Panhandle, they're in the upper 80s. Western Texas, they're in the upper 80s to low 90s. Southern Texas, temperatures are in the mid-80s to mid-90s. Eastern Texas, temperatures are in the upper 80s to mid-90s, and northeastern Texas, temperatures are in the 90s. Let's go to Oklahoma, where winds are generally moving towards the north, but in the west central part of Oklahoma, winds are blowing at around 30 to 40 miles per hour. Yet, very light in the eastern edge of Oklahoma. Temperatures there, they're in the upper 80s to low 90s. So let's go to the Ohio Valley right now. Winds throughout the Ohio Valley, they are blowing towards the northeast. It's quite light in Kentucky, but in places like much of Illinois, Indiana, and northern Ohio, winds are blowing up to 30 miles per hour there. Kentucky, temperatures are in the 80s. Ohio, they're in the upper 70s to mid 80s. Indiana, 80s. Illinois, 80s to mid 90s. Let's go to places like Michigan and Wisconsin. Very strong winds in Lake Michigan. We have here in the lower peninsula of Michigan, winds, they're blowing towards the northeast right now at up to 30 miles per hour, but a little lighter near Detroit. Upper peninsula of Michigan, winds are generally blowing towards the north at up to 30 miles per hour. Wisconsin, winds are generally blowing towards the northeast, but in some areas like southeastern Wisconsin, they're blowing at up to 30 to 40 miles per hour. But on the coastal sides, but on the lake, hold on just a minute. But on the coastal sides, the lake shores of Lake Michigan, winds are very strong. They're about a little over 40 though. I mean, you do have very chilly waters in the Great Lakes. I mean, once it's that cold, it tends to cause stronger winds. It's all because of very hot temperatures that's about to come. Let's talk temperatures. So, in the lower peninsula of Michigan, temperatures are in the 80s. Upper peninsula, mid-60s to upper 70s. Wisconsin, temperatures are in the 80s to mid-90s. Minnesota, winds, well, for the most part, in northern Minnesota, winds are actually coming from the northeast, but they're splitting towards either the southwest or towards the east. But yet, wind speed, just in some places like northwestern Minnesota, winds are about up to 25 miles per hour. In southern and eastern Minnesota, winds are coming from the south and are diverging towards the west or towards the east. And they're blowing at around up to 35 miles per hour, particularly in the southern edge of Minnesota. Temperature-wise, in the northern half of Minnesota, they're in the mid 70s to mid 80s. In the southern half of Minnesota, temperatures are in the 80s to low 90s. Let's go down towards Iowa and Missouri, where winds are generally blowing towards the northeast in Missouri, but towards the north in Iowa. Right along the Iowa-Missouri border, winds are blowing at about up to 30 to 40 miles per hour, but it's quite light in southeastern Missouri. Temperatures in Missouri, they range from the mid-80s to mid-90s. Iowa also actually they're blowing, sorry, not blowing. They are in the upper 80s to mid-90s. Let's talk about Kansas and Nebraska. So what do we got? Okay, so in western Nebraska, winds are coming from the west, and they're blowing up to 30 miles per hour. They're shifting towards the northeast as it makes its way towards the eastern and southern parts of Nebraska. But on the southeastern part of Nebraska, they're blowing at up around 30 to 40 miles per hour. Kansas, actually, winds are moving towards the northeast if I haven't mentioned it. But in Kansas, winds are blowing towards the northeast, in some places up to 40 miles per hour. Elsewhere, it's just up to 25 miles per hour. Temperatures in Kansas, they are in the upper 80s to upper 90s. Nebraska, temperatures are in the 90s to low hundreds. It's quite hot, folks, quite hot. In the Dakotas, so what you have here is that South Dakota, you get winds that are generally coming from the west, but on the eastern edge of South Dakota, you have winds that are coming from the southwest. And yet, you're seeing a counterclockwise flow of winds, which indicates a surface low pressure area, the center near Aberdeen, South Dakota. Winds in many places where there are stronger winds are blowing up to 30 miles per hour, maybe up to 35 miles per hour near Sioux Falls in eastern South Dakota. North Dakota, though, winds are coming from the northeast and shifting towards Aberdeen, South Dakota. In the northern part of South Dakota, winds are blowing up to 35 miles per hour. A little lighter in the southern half of North Dakota. Let's talk about temperatures. So temperatures in South Dakota, they are in the mid-70s to mid-90s. And in North Dakota, temperatures range from 70 in Williston to 88 in Fargo. Let's talk about the northern Rockies. So in the northern Rockies, what you have here is that Montana winds are generally blowing towards the east, but in the western edge of Montana, you have winds that are coming from North Dakota, but it's shifting towards the north, as well as the westerly winds blowing towards the north, meaning winds that are coming from the west. But winds in south Montana, well, they come from Idaho, and then they shift towards South Dakota. Winds in north central Montana, they're blowing up to 30 to 40 miles per hour there, which does mean that, which does make meteorologists issue high wind warnings because you have really fast moving winds and all that means that it'll cause some trouble for people who live over there or who are just visiting there. In Idaho, you have winds in the northern part of the state moving towards the northeast, but in places where there are strong winds are blowing up to 30 miles per hour. In southern, breathe, weatherman, and water yourself, drink waters. Yeah, Yeah, I should. Thanks for the reminder, Echo Moth. Yeah, but just so you know, I'm actually under a heat watch right now. I mean, they don't issue it because I didn't really turn on the excessive heat. I didn't turn on the heat watches because watches are not, something I would consider worth putting because I mean it'll just ruin everything for everyone to see. I mean, because you have on one hand plenty of watches out there. Oh, when is it going to happen? But warnings, they tell a bigger story. They say a lot. They say it is there, not the watches. Watches are just one of those things where you gotta be very mindful of and be prepared for it. But warnings are when that is there. The heat is there, and thunderstorms are there. So, as I was saying, in southern Idaho, you have winds are coming from the west-northwest, shifting towards the northeast. In some places, blowing at up to 30 miles per hour. And in Wyoming, you have the northern and western parts of Wyoming. They have, well, actually, winds from, let's see. In southern Wyoming, winds are coming from the north, from the southwest, shifting towards the east. And you have northwestern and western Wyoming winds are blowing towards the northeast as well, but winds are stronger, just up to 30 miles per hour in the south central Wyoming. And in northeastern Wyoming, winds are coming from the northwest, but they're very light winds though, except for that little northeastern corner part, just up to 25 miles per hour. But elsewhere, the winds are very light though. What do we have in terms of temperature? So, temperature-wise, well, let's start off with eastern half of Montana. Temperatures are in the 60s to mid-70s. Western Wyoming, temperatures are in the upper 40s to upper 50s. It's a huge contrast between western Montana, which is the Rockies part, and eastern Montana is where the Great Plains part still occurs. And you have northern Idaho, temperatures are in the 40s to low 50s. Southern Idaho, temperatures are in the 50s to low 60s. Wyoming, you have temperatures that are in the upper 60s to low 80s there. Let's start off with Colorado. So, Colorado, virtually the winds are moving towards the northeast, but in places like northwestern Colorado, winds are blowing up to 40 miles per hour. In southeastern Colorado, winds are blowing up to 30 to 35 miles per hour. But elsewhere, like central Rockies and northeastern Colorado, winds are very light there. Utah, you have winds in the southern eastern parts of the state blowing towards the northeast, but in some places blowing at around 30 to 40 miles per hour, maybe a little higher in a few areas. Northwestern Wyoming, Utah, winds, they're coming from the north, but they're shifting towards the northeast. But they're very light, though, just blowing at no more than 30 miles per hour there. Nevada, winds are generally coming from the north, but then they end up converging near Ely. And some places in northern Nevada, winds are blowing up to 30 miles per hour. In southeastern Nevada, winds are coming from the north. Oh, no, not from the north, from the south. And they're converging in Ely, but they're blowing in some places up to 40 miles an hour there. Then near Ely, winds, and especially east of Elko, winds are very light there. Temperatures in Colorado, they are in the 80s to mid-90s. Northern Utah, you have temperatures that are ranging from 62 in Logan to 86 in Vernal. And in southern Utah, when temperatures are in the 80s to low 90s. Northern Nevada, you have temperatures that are in, let's see, they range from 55 in Reno to about 70 in Ely. And in southern Nevada, temperatures are in the upper 70s to upper 80s. Let's take a look at the desert southwest. So New Mexico, winds are blowing towards the northeast. In many places, blowing at around up to 30 miles per hour, maybe a little higher. In places like northwestern New Mexico. Arizona, winds are blowing towards the north-northeast. Some places have winds blowing at around 40 miles an hour, especially in northwest of Flagstaff. In northern New Mexico, temperatures are in the 70s to upper 80s. Southern New Mexico, temperatures are in the 90s. Northern Arizona, temperatures range from 70 in Flagstaff to 86 in Kingman. Southern Arizona, temperatures are in the 90s. Let's go to California. In California, like the northern half of California, you have winds that are coming from the north-northwest. They vary based on geography. On the coastal side, just offshore, winds are blowing past 40 miles per hour there. But once it hits on shore, on the immediate coastal parts of California, winds are blowing at no more than 40 miles per hour there. But in places like northeastern LA, winds are blowing towards the northeast at around 40 miles per hour in some areas. But inland in Southern California, winds are shifting towards the northeast, though. So let's go over the temperatures. Well, just a little bit of light winds in LA. Now, what about temperatures throughout California? They range from 66 in San Diego, 91 in Indio, 73 in LA, Bakersfield, Fresno, Chico. The Bay Area, temperatures are in the 60s to low 70s. Sacramento, 75, 71 in Redding, and 55 in Eureka. Just give me a moment. Oh, that was a lot, folks. In the Pacific Northwest, you have onshore winds. Well, you do have winds that are coming from the northwest, shifting towards the north as soon as it's on land. Shifting towards the north, but blowing at no more than 25 miles per hour. Places like northwestern Oregon and western Washington State. Winds are very light in Olympic National Park, that peninsula part of Washington State, I mean. In southern Oregon, winds are shifting from the west to the southeast and then towards the south, blowing at around up to 25 miles per hour on the leeward side of the Cascades. In northeastern Oregon and eastern Washington State on the leeward side of the Cascades. Winds are coming from the west, blowing towards the northeast. And they're blowing at up to 30 miles per hour there. Temperatures in Oregon, they're in the upper 40s to mid-50s. Washington State, temperatures are in the upper 40s to mid-50s. Alright, that's a lot of talking for, winds and temperatures. Now let's see what we got for gusts, but we can only do, talk, in general in terms of winds, make it brief, and all that. Let's take a look. We got a lot of gusts that are in the 40 to 60 mile per hour range. from places like Texas all the way up to Michigan. Maybe a little higher in some areas of those places, especially in the Great Basin, parts of the Great Basin, and parts of the desert Southwest too. Just wind gusts of up to 60 to 80 miles per hour, especially in northwestern Montana too. Let's talk about relative humidity. Well, humidity, relative humidity. There's a lot of humidity in North Dakota. Good amount of humidity, but just not too excessively. Places like the Mississippi Valley, Great Lakes region, and there's a lot of humidity in the coastal part of the Pacific Northwest. There's a lot of dry weather throughout much of the rest of the West, and a little bit drier in New England, Adirondacks of New York, and much of the Mid-Atlantic and Southeast. Let's take a look at rainfall estimates. Well, folks, there's not much to talk about because there's not much that's been accumulated. Well, one thing I could say is that there could be as much as about half an inch of rain. Places like Tampa, Sarasota, especially the Everglades. And wherever there is a lot of rain, it's in, well, I wouldn't call it rain. I mean, it's more like trying to come up with an equivalency of how much rain would there be based on the amount of snow that would be accumulated. So, so in English, please, Marlon, it'll be around up to 2 to 3 inches of rain as soon as you convert the amount of snow that will be accumulated into rainfall accumulated, if you know what I mean. Like, for example, you get 10 inches of snow, and that should equate to about 10 inches or about a foot of snow. That should equate to about an inch of rain based on if the snow is wet or if it's dry. In Oregon, just up to 2 inches of rain there in the coastal part. All right, now let's go to the upper level winds. So let's see what we got. Yeah, this is for tonight. Yeah, this is right now. This is for this afternoon. This is what's going to happen at around 2 o'clock. So what's going to happen? So what's happening right now? Well, folks, all I can say is that there is a ridge, a big ridge over the Ohio and Mississippi valleys, and there is an upper level low. Wait. Yeah, that's an upper level low, just located in the Bitterroot Mountains and the leeward side of the Cascades too, which means that there's a trough that's going to be over on the leeward side of the Cascades in Oregon. And there's a trough just located in the Canadian Maritimes. What does this mean? Okay, so there's going to be a lot of heat. It's going to occur throughout the central part of the country, particularly in the northern plains, upper Mississippi Valley, Great Lakes, and even the Northeast in a matter of a few days, which we'll get to in a moment. There's going to be storms. There's storms right now in places like Montana, Idaho, Wyoming, and much of the Great Basin. Now let's talk about what's going to happen. Not in 24 hours. Well, yeah, in 24 hours from now. Yeah, on tomorrow afternoon, there's going to be a big ridge. It's going to slowly move to the east, but it's going to be over the Ohio Valley, Great Lakes region. It's going to bring more heat towards the Great Plains and the Mississippi Valley. And the heat's going to start building up in places like the Northeast. There's going to be a trough. It's going to be over the Bitterroot Mountains and the Northern Rockies. And there's going to be a trough in the Canadian Maritimes, like far out east. So that means there's going to be storms in the Northern Plains, the Colorado Rockies, parts of the desert Southwest, and even parts of Texas and New Mexico. Now let's go to 24 hours from then. It'll be Monday morning. By Monday morning, there's gonna the ridge will slowly move east it'll be over the Appalachian Mountains and the Ohio Valley, which means more heat. It's going to start moving towards the northeast, the Great Lakes. It's going to be a trough over California. And I think there's going to be another trough in Manitoba, just to the north of Minnesota and North Dakota. Which means that there could be storms in the desert Southwest, the Great Basin, the Colorado Rockies, the Northern Plains. Alright, and finally, on Tuesday afternoon, is going to be that ridge will expand, just get a little wider, and it will affect places like the Ohio Valley, the Northeast, the Mississippi Valley, Southern Plains. But yet, there's going to be a trough over California, and a little bit of ridge just north of Idaho, which means that there's going to be a lot of storms in the desert Southwest, as well as the Colorado Rockies, the Great Plains, particularly in the Northern Plains. Alright, so let's move on to see what's going to happen for the next 3 days. Yeah, okay, so as what Echo Moth would say, time for me to start drinking water. That I must do. Because gotta quench your thirst. Alright. Let's talk about what's going to happen in the next 3 days. We do in increments of like, let's say this afternoon we do it. I think I can give a better example than this. Let's take care of what's going to happen tonight. You better keep very hydrated. No, I don't want me weatherman to die. Yeah. But not to worry, though. I do have air conditioners. But right now, I'm just turning it off because, well, one, I gotta save power until it gets really hot. Two, I do have bottled water with me. People are nuts outside. The water bottle I have has been refrigerated, and that's better than warm water, because warm water, it tastes terrible. I'm just overheating here and melting away. Yeah, it is super hot. Wait, hold up. Is it super hot where you live, Echo Moth? Like, seriously? I mean, is it true that Europe is currently dealing with a heat wave there, particularly in your part of Europe? Oh, wow. Well, you gotta follow your own advice too. You told me to keep myself hydrated. Now it's time. Now it's your turn. All right. Now let's see what's gonna happen tonight. Okay, so by tonight, there's gonna be a lot of heat that will remain in place, like the desert Southwest, the central third of the country, and even the Mid-Atlantic and the Southeast. There's going to be chilly temperatures in parts of the northwestern part of the country, like the Cascades, Bitterroot Mountains, and the Northern Rockies, and parts of the Great Basin too, and the Sierra Nevadas as well. Fine. I've been dying all day. Yeah, drink that water, dude. Drink that. I drink water, so yeah, that's good. That's good. Lots of warm lows throughout anywhere east of the Rockies. Gets worse in the northern plains, as well as as well as the Great Lakes region and the lower Mississippi Valley. But now I need bathrooms, so BRB. Yeah, don't worry, I won't be going anywhere. There's going to be a lot of freezing temperatures throughout the interior portions of the West for tomorrow morning. See what we got for tomorrow night. Tomorrow night, there's going to be a lot of heat to go around throughout the entirety of the South, Desert Southwest, southern half of the Central Valley, California, Great Plains, Mississippi Valley, well, except for the Dakotas, and as well as the Great Lakes region and the Ohio Valley and the Mid-Atlantic. It's going to be chilly temperatures throughout the Northern Rockies. Now moving on. To places like... Now, to Monday morning. Yeah, I need water real quick. Anyway, there's going to be a lot of warm lows, particularly along the East Coast. Places like the Carolinas, the Mid-Atlantic, parts of upstate New York, especially the New York City area, lower Mississippi Valley, and the Great Lakes region. It's going to be chill, very cold temperatures in the Rockies. Oh yeah, there's also going to be plenty of warm lows in South Florida. By Monday night, plenty of heat to go around throughout the South, mid-Mississippi Valley, parts of the southern part of the Great Lakes region, and parts of the Northeast too. The Desert Southwest and the Central Valley, California. Yeah, much of California, they're going to get a lot of heat waves. And finally, by Tuesday morning, it's going to be a lot of warm lows throughout the Northeast, the Ohio Valley, southern half of the Great Lakes region, and South Florida. All right. Oh, hold on a minute. I feel very uncomfortable, folks. And there's going to be a lot of freezing temperatures in the Rockies. Now let's go to humidity for tonight. Let's see what we got. For tonight, we do have a lot of excessive humidity throughout the majority of places out just to the east of the Rockies. It gets worse in the Mississippi Valley and even the Ohio Valley, the Great Lakes region. For tomorrow morning, lots of excessive humidity east of the Rockies. Gets worse in the Mississippi Valley, Great Lakes, Ohio Valley, and the Southeast, making heat much, much worse. Very oppressive, though. What do we got for tomorrow night? Well, tomorrow night there's a lot of humidity, oppressive humidity in the south, especially in the Mississippi Valley, eastern half of the Great Plains, the Great Lakes region, and much of the Northeast will get a lot of humidity. Monday morning, a lot of humidity in the south, southern plains, Mississippi Valley, Great Lakes region, Ohio Valley, and much of the Northeast too. And anywhere on the East Coast, plenty of humidity to go around, just to make heat even worse. By Monday night, humidity starts growing throughout parts of the West Coast. Worse humidity will occur throughout the South, the Northeast, Ohio Valley, much of the Mississippi Valley, and as well as much of the Great Lakes region. And finally, Tuesday morning, there's going to be a lot of humidity to go around throughout the South, the mid-Mississippi Valley. Cool and dry air starts moving in towards the Dakotas and the upper Mississippi Valley. The southern half of the Great Lakes region will endure more humidity, and the Northeast will get so much humidity that it'll make heat even worse. As I said, hold on. All right. I think, yeah, we're back in business, so let's talk about CAPE. So what do we got for tonight? There's a lot of CAPE to go around, and it gets worse in the upper Mississippi Valley, northern plains, the Great Lakes region, and especially parts of the Ohio Valley too, and as well as the lower Mississippi Valley, Dixie Alley, and especially the southern plains. But a good amount of CAPE convection will occur throughout much of the East Coast and the rest of Texas. Oh, I almost regurgitate. You know, the thing is that regurgitation almost killed me. Just at the end of 2022, right before I had my first COVID. But I was vaccinated, though, fully. Yeah, before COVID. Alright, anyway, enough about me, so let's talk about tomorrow morning. For tomorrow morning, there's going to be a lot of CAPE throughout parts of the Gulf Coast, especially a lot of CAPE throughout the northern plains, upper Mississippi Valley, and the Great Lakes region. Good amount of CAPE throughout anywhere east of the Rockies, with the exception of Maine. What about tomorrow night? Tomorrow night, there's a lot of CAPE. The worst of the convection will occur throughout the upper Mississippi Valley, Great Lakes, and the Northeast, all because of the heat that's starting to build up, and especially the rest of the Mississippi Valley. Hold on just a minute, folks. No, actually, I'm going to talk over it. And yet, there's a good amount of CAPE throughout the southern plains of Texas and the southeast. All right. What about Monday morning? Monday morning, there's going to be a lot of convection throughout much of the Northeast, especially just some in the Gulf Coast, and especially the Mississippi, Ohio valleys too. Monday night, You got vaccinated for COVID? Yeah, I did. I did get vaccinated for COVID. It included the booster shot back in 2021. And the thing is that I got COVID, but the good news was that I didn't really get the worst of symptoms. I never had any worse symptoms, and me having COVID was almost like experiencing a hurricane. It was like a wild ride. But I did manage to recover for about a few days and got back on my feet. And that just happened. Like when I just first began my first day at work, my first job after I graduated from college. All right, so what do we got for Monday night? Oh boy, look at all this convection and throughout the Ohio Valley, the Mid-Mississippi Valley, and as well as the Great Lakes region. And it's worse in the megalopolis part of the Northeast, particularly places like Washington, New York, Boston. Yeah, those places, they're going to be ripe for severe weather in the coming days, especially the Gulf Coast. Yeah, funny thing, I never got vaccinated for COVID. Oh, did you did you get COVID? Yeah, because if you didn't, you'd be very lucky. Let me see what we got. Well, for Tuesday morning, there's going to be a lot of okay, let's see. They were talking shit about the vaccines. I'm scared of needles either way, so decided not to. Oh, all right. Well, if it's your choice, but yeah, it's your choice. I only did it just to get it over with, you know. Just so I don't get my family sick, and if I do, yeah, I'd be written with guilt. So anyway, it's kind of like my family would try to kill me. But not literally, though. More like you being cut off the will, if you know what I mean. Anyway, let's see what we got. My family got me sick. Oh, so sorry about that. Twice. Yeah, that's no fun. Alright, so let's see. Convection. As I said, for Tuesday morning, there's going to be a lot of convection throughout the Mid-Atlantic, the megalopolis part of the Northeast, like here. The Ohio Valley will get a good amount of convection, as well as the lower Mississippi Valley, and even parts of Florida, too. Now, let's talk about precipitation right now. See what we're dealing with for the next 3 days. I had no symptoms. It was just chilling and playing games all night. Rain. Yeah. Rain. Might as well turn to this. Okay, so what do we have for tonight? For tonight, just some scattered showers and clouds in northern New England. Spotty showers and storms throughout many parts of the south, but nothing too widespread, though. In the northern plains, upper Mississippi Valley, parts of the Great Lakes region, just a few clouds and showers. And there are plenty of storms in places like the Pacific Northwest and the Northern Rockies, as well as some scattered showers and clouds in the parts of the Great Basin. See what we got for tomorrow morning. So by tomorrow morning, there's gonna be some wet weather, some severe weather throughout parts of the Northeast, particularly in upstate New York and New England, and as well as some clouds and showers. That's some parts of the south, particularly in the Gulf Coast, and as well as the northern plains and the upper Mississippi Valley. A lot of storms will occur throughout the northern Rockies and parts of the Pacific Northwest too, the Cascades. See what we have for tomorrow night. Tomorrow night, some clouds will be present throughout parts of the Northeast, as well as the South, but the South, some spotty cloud showers and a few storms in the Southeast, but in western Texas and eastern New Mexico, as well as parts of the Great Plains in the western half. Oh, I wasn't sneezing. But thank you, though. There's going to be some severe weather that could brew there in the northern plains and the northern Rockies. There's going to be some storms, as well as the leeward side of the Cascades too. Let's go to Monday morning. By Monday morning, plenty of clouds and showers, some storms in western Texas. Well, you're blessed the next time you sneeze. No, thank you. Thank you. The Northeast looks somewhat clear. And plenty of clouds and showers and some storms will roll in through the northern plains, upper Mississippi Valley, parts of the Great Lakes, and some storms will linger throughout the northern part of the Northeast for Monday morning and for Monday night. Plenty of pop-up showers and storms throughout the South. Gets worse in western Texas, as well as the Central Plains, upper Mississippi Valley, parts of the Great Lakes regions, and severe storms will occur there. A few clouds in the Northeast. Clouds and showers throughout the interior portions of the West, and even parts of the desert Southwest too. And finally, we do have plenty of clouds and showers and a few storms throughout the South and even parts of the Mid-Atlantic. Some severe storms will occur throughout the central part of the Great Plains, upper Mississippi Valley, parts of the Great Lakes, clouds and a few showers in some parts of the Rockies and Great Basin, and some clouds in the desert Southwest, some stray clouds and showers in some places in the West Coast. Alright, and let's see what we got in terms of snowfall, if there's any. Well, there's going to be a lot of snowfall in the Rockies, especially near Yellowstone. We're talking about around up to 4 feet of snow in some places. Places like Cluster Gallatin National Park, Red Lodge, Montana. Oh yeah, and there are greater amounts of snow, just up to 100 inches of snow, maybe a little higher in a few places in Glacier National Park. Wow, this is big. It's very big for those in northwestern Montana. I mean, considering that the glaciers at Glacier National Park have been receding, for so long, due to consistent warming of that part of the country. Well, of course, there have been snow, but the amount of snow over the years hasn't really caught up to keep Glacier National Park a place full of glaciers, if you know what I mean. In the northern Cascades, just up to 6 inches of snow there. In northeastern Oregon, just up to 2 feet of snow there. Near La Grande, Oregon, especially west of Bend. Just up to about an inch, foot and a half of snow, especially in Crater Lake National Park, up to a foot. All right. All right. So it is time for me to end the stream for now, but I'm not going to end the stream just immediately. I do have the weather topic of the day, so hold on just a minute. Just for me to get that weather topic of the day. Might as well just pull up something. All right, the weather topic of the day is, what is a rain gauge? Yeah, just give me a moment. I need a... Yeah, I just do need some sips of water before I can do the weather topic of the day. All right, I'm back. Okay, so the weather topic of the day is rain gauge, as I said just about a couple seconds ago. A rain gauge is a device used to measure the amount of liquid precipitation, typically rainfall, over a specific period. It's a tool used by meteorologists, hydrologists, and even gardeners to track rainfall. Its purpose is to measure precipitation, weather forecasting, water resource management, and gardening and agriculture. All right, so that's it for the weather topic of the day. I could repeat that in my later stream. I will stream again from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. That time I will be playing Kingdom Hearts, so that means I'm not going to have a national weather discussion later today. Just a little bit of the overall picture of brief what's going on right now, but nothing like this in this stream. I will see you guys at 6 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. We'll stream for 2 hours playing Kingdom Hearts 2. Pick up where we left off, because that will be my 31st birthday. But I am hungry, and I gotta do stuff. So anyway, take care of you guys, and see you guys later. If you guys are gonna stick around later tonight. Otherwise, I'll see you guys tomorrow for more streams down the road. All right? Love you all. Peace out, everybody. Stay safe out there. All right? Stay cool if you live in excessive heat warnings, but stay warm if you're under winter storm warnings. All right? Peace out, everybody. See you later. Signing out.